years since DiCaprio has starred in a movie. The next movie he's going to be in is called Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. What intrigues me even more is that the director of this new film is Quentin Tarantino. Quentin Tarantino. Now, for those of you who don't know who Quentin Tarantino is, first of all, where have you been? Second of all, you probably have heard of some of his greatest works, I don't know, his masterpieces, Pulp Fiction. Surely you know Kill Bill. Surely you know Django. That's all Tarantino. And he's making another movie. And usually in the film culture, or the film community, that in and of itself is a phenomenon. And so to prepare for the release of this upcoming film, I decided to go on a journey through Tarantino's filmography. I'm going to call it the Tarantino Tour. Why? Because Tarantino and tour both start with a T. And I just want to be fancy. Alright, well, the first movie in his filmography is technically a short film called My Best Friend's Birthday. But unfortunately, most of that film was lost in a laboratory fire. Anyways, so if we exclude the short film, then the first film in his filmography is Reservoir Dogs. Reservoir Dogs is directed by Quentin Tarantino and stars Harvey Keitel, Tim Roth, Steve Buscemi, and I'm just naming actors off the top of my head. Michael Madsen, the guy with the bomb from Rush Hour. There are more. I can't remember. Oh my goodness. I've realized while editing this video that I forgot to include a plot summary of Reservoir Dogs, so here it goes. Robbery goes wrong. Group of robbers are convinced that there's a mole in the group, so they try to figure out who it is. The end. This movie is frickin' amazing. Frickin' amazing. Not perfect. Definitely not his best, but still frickin' amazing. Alright, and before I get into the review, there will be spoilers because this movie is 1992, 2019, so that's 27 years. It's 27 years old. Alright, it's 27 years old. And if you still haven't seen it, you gotta go watch it now, and you gotta stop watching this review and watch the movie, because it really is a classic. And being that it is a classic, there's not really much that I can say that someone else hasn't already said. But what I can do is provide my insightful opinion, because everyone wants to hear Mr. Lee's opinion. This is a wonderfully directed film. There's clearly some enthusiasm. Being this is Tarantino's debut film, I highly admire the passion that goes behind the camera. I could already see hints of Tarantino's style that was to come and bloom and evolve in his later years working as a filmmaker. Reservoir Dogs was a wonderful debut to that. The writing. Okay, so this is where the movie excels but also falls flat for me, because while the dialogue is extremely witty, and while the progression of the plot is extremely hilarious and extremely interesting and intriguing, I don't think the characters are that intriguing at all. In fact, they're very one-dimensional if you ask me. Instead of being characters, these people in the film are caricatures instead. Which is okay, because I didn't really care for the characters, but I don't feel like I had to care for the characters to enjoy the movie. The pacing of the script can be a little slow sometimes, especially with the exposition scenes. When he tries to develop the characters by revealing their backgrounds, by revealing how they were hired, or even before that too, the context before they were hired. I thought it was very slow, and kind of dull. The cinematography is okay. There's nothing to brag about, really. You know, it's nothing compared to Pulp Fiction or Kill Bill, but it's something that doesn't give me a headache while I try to understand the movie or watch the movie. So for that, I'll let it be. In terms of the acting, now although the characters are quite drab in this film, the acting is still perfectly wonderful. And my favorite performances from this movie are either Michael Madsen as Mr. Blonde or Steve Buscemi as Mr. Pink. In terms of the soundtrack and the audio, the score, I think that Tarantino does a great job of keeping the mood, light. Like the torture scene, it could have gone in either direction. It could have gone in a comedic direction or horrific, sick, sadistic direction. But, with the correct soundtrack choice, Tarantino made it both sadistic and hilarious. Ultimately, I'm going to give Reservoir Dogs an A. I do think that although there are flaws to it, it is still a wonderfully fantastic film. It's something that you guys have to check out. It definitely is on the bucket list for me. Yeah, that's it. And look forward to my next review of Pulp Fiction, which is going to be epic to talk about. And so yeah, I'll see you guys next time.